Obviously, there's going to be a lot of parsing of these numbers tomorrow. I think to a certain extent, they don't necessarily matter in terms of the quarter itself. People really want to look at the overall trajectory of where this AI story is going, and that's where I want to start with you as to where you think it's going and whether NVIDIA will continue to lead it.
Well, certainly NVIDIA is in a great position to continue to lead it, just to start with that, as their chips and their overall software, hardware, packaging is unlike any other option for scaling AI. But I think the real question is, and what investors are trying to figure out is, they're sort of like, when does this cycle end? I don't want to attribute a valuation to earnings that could end or go back down, and they maybe are worried that it's cyclical. But what I think that those investors are missing is that this is a fundamental shift in computing to a whole new generation of what technology will be able to achieve for humans in the next decade. And that build out is going to cost several $1 trillion. So this build out is going to take time, and NVIDIA will be an extremely profitable, well-positioned company during this build out, which I think will last the next at least 5 years.
Well, I am curious about the build out and the cost of it, because it seems like that cost keeps rising. We've already talked, I think, before when we've had you on the program, the cost of memory and some of the other inputs to build these data centers and the related investments, not to mention the power and energy costs. And today we were talking about this big rise that we're seeing in long-term treasury yields, which of course raises the cost of capital for anybody looking to borrow.
That's all correct. And that's the biggest risk to this story, is the actual reality of implementation, which involves like certain level of political and societal risk, as well as just capital risk. And there's all these things out there that make doing this difficult. And that's okay, because that's normal for something that's so revolutionary and needing such intensive investment. But what really matters is what's on the other side. Is there profits there? And that is, I think, what most investors maybe are underestimating, is what are the upsides for these companies, and we perceive them to be massive. So AI is now, it's not the future, it's happening now, and the demand for it far outstrips the supply and ability of AI, and we expect that to continue for the next 5 years.
I am curious, though, and I'm just going to throw something at you, and this is from Michael Burry in his latest Substack post, and he's always been a little skeptical about this AI boom.
Right.
But he talks about this idea of, he doesn't think that the consumer appetite for pain, that is, for AI, will be as high as some people think. He's also concerned, of course, about the cost of the corporate build out of this as well. And he is drawing a lot of comparisons, as you would expect, to the dot-com bubble. I do want to get your thoughts on that.
Well, Michael Burry doesn't run a firm, and he doesn't actually run that much money. My personal accounts that we manage for my own personal clients is 3 times bigger than his fund. So, let's keep Michael Burry in perspective. But what he's missing is there's 2 levels. From the consumer perspective, there is a price like what they'll pay for Netflix and what they'll pay for Chat or Gemini, and maybe that's $20 or $30 or $40 a month. But that's not where the big money is. The big money is in corporate and enterprise. So my company right now is building on Claude, and we're building a whole new presentation and portfolio system through AI so that we can automate all the processes our advisors do. And we've been building on this now for several weeks, and it just gets better and better. And it's like super cool what we're building, and it's amazing that we can build it like with a person who doesn't even know how to program. And so, this is the beginning, and companies like mine will spend thousands of dollars a month, no problem, for AI. It's worth it. The efficiency gains that we're already getting from AI are amazing. So for us, I think it'll at least increase our productivity like by 2 to 3 times. And the way I see it right now, irrelevant of like the gains that we get from customer service, happiness, and things like that, but just on financial level, that every dollar we invest in AI will probably have a 10 times to 20 times return. So we'll just keep investing in it.
I mean, you've talked about this a lot, about the opportunities out there. I am curious about just the widening aperture of investing in this space. And let's just stay in the public markets for right now. I am curious that looking beyond the obvious names, the NVIDIAs and Alphabets and Microsofts of the world, are there names that you're looking at now that you think might be sort of that, own this for the next 10, 20 years? It'll be the next Amazon or the next, whatever.
Well, I think that's yet to be determined. I think there will be companies that are going to come out that will be the next Amazon or Google, but that has yet to be determined as people are now starting to really deploy solutions over AI. I think the big winners have already been determined with, what we're using, whether it be OpenAI, Gemini, or Claude. And so I think we have three big winners in AI. But I think the real winners behind this that we're investing in, and you can see it in the multiples of these stocks, are the people providing power, because you can't do anything without power in this world, whether it's drive an electric vehicle or turn on your heat pump in your house or running a data center. We're in this like massive suck of power and energy, and that I think is where enormous opportunities lay in companies that we've added to my fund, in my GK fund, like Bloom Energy, for example, a really innovative technology company that's providing power to data centers. Quanta Services, another top holding in my fund. There's really just power and infrastructure services, because the biggest risk to AI is actually being able to build it.